What is up, my friends? It's that time once again for another weekend comic book haul. It's been forever since I've done one of these. It feels odd to do one, but here we are nonetheless. I have a few books to share with you guys and girls today. I've been kind of holding off, which is why I haven't been doing a weekend video. I've been making sure, or wanted to make sure, that I had enough to actually do a video. I haven't been ordering from Midtown as much because I've been planning out my orders a little bit better, so I haven't had the need to order from them as much, although I do occasionally, and I'll point out those that I've ordered from them when they come up. But if this is your first time through the channel, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate you hanging out with me. Current subscribers, thanks for always hanging out with me. Appreciate you, each and every one of you. Yes, you too. First of all, we have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This is issue number 1. My girlfriend and I took a trip down to the comic shop because I needed some short boxes. I am going through boxes like crazy for some reason, and and my desk is overrun with comic books just stacked. So I know that's not the best way to store them. That's definitely not ideal. So I had to run out and get some short boxes. I've been really loving the BCW comic book bins. I'm not sponsored by BCW in the least, but I just want to say that because I really do like their product. For the space that I have in my house, in my office, they work really good. The fact that you can stack them is really great. It works for me very well. So that's the reason we were out there. So The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was on the wall. She had to have it because we've been watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. So I figured I'd get it for her. So we got issue number 1, as well as issue number 2. Both look great. Her choice out of the two was number 2, but me being the guy that I am, I had to grab both of them. Didn't want to leave one lonely on the shelf. So maybe I'll get those graded for her sometime. She really likes the show. Another book we have is The Walking Dead 2-day special. If I'm not mistaken, this was free a few weeks ago at one of my shops, so I just took it. Like, why not? So if you've been here for a while, you know that I don't read The Walking Dead, at least not yet, but I'm not turning down free comic books either. One of my favorite stories, Bone Parish. I say that, and I have not read this issue yet, so I definitely got to get on that today. But this is a fantastic cover. I believe I didn't grab it initially because it wasn't available at the 2 or 3 shops I go to on Wednesdays, and I didn't get to this shop till much later, and they actually had 1 copy left, so I grabbed it. Glad to have it. Fantastic artwork on this cover. Love the coloring and love the art. Great story. Border Town, issue number 2. That is the A cover. I just read Border Town number 1. I wasn't mad at it. I didn't really know where the story was going, but I knew I loved that C cover to the first issue, so I knew I had to grab that issue. So I read it this morning, and I want to see what happens. So I'll be reading this a little bit later also. Mixed reviews on that, but I enjoyed it, if I'm being honest. One of my Midtown orders included 3 comics. This is one. I needed to replace the original one I had. There was some smudging up here in this moon area, so I didn't like that. I wanted to replace it, and I ended up with 2. And this was part of an order that it just showed up at my house one day, and I didn't remember putting in the order. But I wasn't mad, and I wasn't going to call them and tell them they made a mistake or anything. I'm pretty sure I ordered it. I just couldn't remember. So, Batgirl 27, Joshua Middleton B cover. He's fantastic. The artwork's fantastic as always. Love this cover. Now I own 3 copies. So, Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark, The Witching Hour 1. and that's the variant cover. Great cover. This was something else that I missed originally when it came out and had to grab it on Saturday when I go to the shop that's further away from my place. Great cover. I know that there was a lot of hype around about this one when it came out, so I was really glad when I was able to secure a copy for myself. These kind of covers don't last long in my immediate area, and for good reason. Thor, number 5, issue number 5. This is the C cover. This was in my pull box for a lot longer than it should have been, but I finally grabbed it. Really cool cover. Yeah, Thor, issue number 5. One of my favorite covers of late, and I missed it, and somehow it ended up in a short box at one of my shops, and I had to have it. But I really like this Thanos Legacy cover right here, this variant cover. Really great. It looks really, really good, albeit a blunted corner right here, but I just love this cover. That wasn't going to stop me from buying it. Awesome copy. Not reading Thanos Legacy, strictly into that for the artwork. What I did read, what I did enjoy, which we all enjoyed, Venom. This is issue number 5, and that is the second printing. Great cover. And I ended up buying 2. Here is the last of that Midtown haul I was telling you about. I ordered 3, 2 of which were the Batgirl 27. The last one was Spider-Geddon 0. That Clayton Crane cover. Really, really nice cover. Had to, I made that order because of this book, if I'm not mistaken now that I think about it. But great cover. I actually had him sign a copy of this when I was at Midtown, when I went to Baltimore Comic-Con, and I noticed that there was some color rub on the back side, on the back of the book, but I was already in line at that point, and I was like, I'm not spending more money to buy, another comic, to run around here to try to find another copy in good condition. So when I got this one, just for the heck of it, I looked at the back of it, and it had the same color rub, so I don't feel as bad now. Probably just one of those things where a batch got messed up, but if anything is my enemy, it's color rub. Edge of Spider-Geddon, issue number 3. Great cover. And that's cover A. And I got 2. So. Return of Wolverine. This is one that was also in my pull box for longer than it should have been, along with that Thor. Return of Wolverine. That's one of the variants. I'm not sure which letter it was, but I know it was one of them. And I also had with it this Return of Wolverine cover also, which is really cool. All 3 of which were spent more time in my box than I normally like to have them sit. I usually get everything on Wednesday, but this sat around for a little bit. Only because they were recommended to me. They weren't, initially in my pull or something that I wanted. They were kind of recommended to me. So I just had them sitting there for a while. What if Peter Parker became the Punisher? Had to grab that one. This is my second copy, so I'm glad I have 2 copies of this. Great cover, great concept. I haven't read it yet, and I haven't really heard anything about it, so maybe I'll take a look into this later on today or tomorrow. If you have read it, let me know what you think. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. Fantastic art germ variant. Looks really good on cam. Love that cover. Heroes in Crisis, issue number 1. That's the J.G. Jones variant. That's my second copy. I had 2 or 3 of these, and they were all like this, the higher variants, higher price variants, and I didn't want to open them. So when I saw this one, it was probably about 2 weeks, a week after, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, maybe. Had to have it, and it was still at a reasonable price, so wasn't passing that up. Next batch, we have some of the free comics from the Halloween comic book time. I was able to grab 2. Halloween Comic Fest. Miss Marvel, issue number 1. I don't believe I have Miss Marvel number 1. I think that missed me, but this is a nice copy to have. I'm okay with this. It will suffice. Also, something I missed on, A Walk Through Hell, issue number 1. I remember people being really excited about this one when it came out, and I could just never bring myself to pick up a copy. So now I have a copy. Back to Return of Wolverine, issue number 1. This is the second printing. This is fun because it has some of the pages are from Star Wars. Dr. Aphra, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but Dr. Aphra, number 25. So I actually looked through it, and there are pages from Star Wars in there, which is really cool. So bad if you're reading the story because you're missing out, but since I'm not reading it, I think it's cool. And that's another copy. So 2 copies of that bad boy. In this batch that I'm showing you, everything from the Halloween Comic Fest on is from last weekend, when one of my shops, the one that's further from me, had 25% off most things in the shop. So I went up there for comic book bins. They didn't have any more, so I ended up spending that money on comic books. So Cemetery Beach number 2. I really enjoyed issue number 1. It was a great time. I had no idea what to expect going into it. I didn't read the synopsis, but I will definitely be continuing that read. Issue number 2, I hope, is more of the same. Can't wait to see. One of those things I just kind of snuck up on. 25% off at that. Red Hood Outlaw, issue number 27. And that's the Yasmin Putri variant. Very excited about this one. I did not see this anywhere locally. So when I was traveling, I was glad to see this one. And it was pretty reasonably priced, and it was 25% off. So had to come home with me. Infinity Wars number 4, the A cover. I picked this up when I noticed that Araconite was on the cover, along with the other mashups, but I'm really digging that character, so that's what made me pick this one up. I didn't realize that his first appearance, or their first appearance, was in issue 3. I was so focused on his own comic coming out a few weeks later that I totally missed this issue. I did grab number 3 on time, though. I just didn't read it. Heroes in Crisis, A cover. That was my reader copy. I had to pick up a reader copy. I read it, thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'll be reading issue number 2 for sure. Not hearing any bad things about Heroes in Crisis. My buddy Comic Otaku was wondering why I didn't pick up the Venom Annual B cover. I didn't see it until he mentioned it. There were none available by me, so I was able to sneak up on this too. And again, for 25% off. I wasn't letting that sit around. Minor color rub, but I can live with it. How's this going? I'm not sure which one is A and which one is B, but I have Dead Kings, issue number 1. I have to read this one. I'm getting mixed reviews about this one, so I'll have to see for myself how this one shakes out, but can't wait to read it. Another copy of Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider. That art germ variant. Awesome cover. And another copy of Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, the animation variant. And this was actually for cover, which is why I grabbed it. When I grabbed this issue initially, it was for a little more than cover. I want to say it was no more than $10, but I don't remember. But I don't remember the price being astronomical. So for cover price, of course, I'm getting it. Love this cover. And I was on my way out of the store. I actually walked out. I paid for everything. I walked out, and then I got to my car, and I was like, I gotta go back in there. And it was for Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider. And this is the Paulo Rivera cover. I was not letting that stay in the store. I had to get it. So I went back for that, for sure. Great cover, great artwork, great coloring. Everything about that screams by me. So I did. Lastly, last but definitely not least, I was looking for this cover for a while. I got me a great copy. I had Midtown. I had it on my watch list on Midtown, and it popped up one day after watching my buddy Comic Otaku talk about it in his video. He had just purchased one also, and then I just got the notification, and I jumped on it. So there was only one available, and I got that bad boy. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, issue number 36, the A cover. Many of my shops around here don't get Squirrel Girl, so they're hard to get in my area. But thank you, Midtown, for coming through in a clutch for me. This is a fantastic cover. Really happy to have that. So there you have it, my friends. Hope you enjoyed the haul. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. If there's anything you grabbed this week that you're excited about, let me know. I definitely want to hear about it. And I look forward to chatting with you guys really soon. My CGC submissions just touched down today and yesterday. One yesterday, 2 today. So they're all here, and I will be working on that video right now. So hope to see you soon there. Hang out with me in the comments. Yeah. Now get back out there and grab those